Alright, hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Death Parade, episode 11, Memento Mori. And this episode, this episode was so fucking sad. There were so many feels, just the feels of this episode hurt my heart. I really just was not prepared in the slightest for this episode, but we finally, after all this time, after literally seeing Chiyuki from the beginning till now, we finally get to see how she passed away, and we get to see her memories. Like, we saw a few memories, like her when she was reading the book Shabbat with her mom, and it was just this episode, it made me tear up. I really was like on the verge of tears watching this episode. It was so fucking beautiful. I want to say like half the episode was her figure skating, and it was so beautiful. And I commend the people, because I love animation. I commend the people who can animate figure skating and still make it look beautiful as if you're like watching a real person figure skate, which is so fucking awesome. One day, I'm holding out hope. But just this episode was so fucking awesome. Just the feels, like she pretty much told her whole story, like when she was younger. Reading Shabbat, she saw her like skating on the ice, so she wanted to learn how to skate, and her mom started taking her like to the ice rink, and she was slowly learning, like even when she was a little baby gibbon. And as she was growing up, she continued skating, and she continued to get better and better, and she started doing competitions, and she literally her whole life consisted of figure skating, which for most people who do figure skate, they dedicate their life to it. So all of her friends that she met, like most of her friends that she knew, she met from figure skating. She figure skated every day. She did multiple competitions. It was just, her life was dedicated to figure skating. And one day when she was in a competition, she fell and she hurt her knee, and she found out that she was never going to be able to figure skate again. And she became detached, I guess is the best way that I can put it. She stopped living. She pretty much just stopped living, because figure skating was her life. And when she found out that she would never be able to figure skate again, she detached herself from everything and everyone. And even at one point, they show her, she was in her room, and her mom came in there to tell her that it was time to eat, and she was just sitting on her bed staring off into space. And her mom picked up one of her trophies and was talking about how, I remember when this was your first trophy that you ever got. I remember you skating in this competition. It was your first competition you ever did, and you won first place, blah, blah, blah. And Chiyuki just got angry and told her to leave. And at that point, Chiyuki, when she was talking to Dekium, because she had fell while she was skating, that was when all those all those memories shot back into her head of how she hurt her knee and all that good stuff. She was talking to Dekium, and she pretty much told him that she remembers now how she died. No one killed her. She took her own life. She slit her wrist because she couldn't handle not being able to do the one thing that she loved ever again. And it wasn't nobody's fault but her own. She just felt so sad and distraught because she couldn't handle it. She just could not handle not being able to do that one thing that she genuinely loved doing, which in ways I can understand. If I ever got to the point where I couldn't draw anymore, or I couldn't play my instruments, or I couldn't, just not being able to use my hands anymore, I would probably get to that state where I was so depressed and distraught that I probably wouldn't want to live on anymore, because I can understand that, because she was extremely passionate about what she did, and not being able to do it anymore, and not really doing anything else. Not necessarily saying that she didn't do anything else with her life, but the one thing that was most important to her was taken away. Kind of sucks. Like, anybody can understand that one. But she just couldn't handle it, and she took her own life. So that was how she ended up down there. And Dekium just asked her, he was asking her questions like, People cry when they're sad and they smile when they're happy. So what emotion are you feeling? Because she was crying, but she had a smile on her face, and she just looked at him. And he told her that even though he might not be able to express it the way that he should because he really doesn't understand emotions, he is extremely happy that he met her. So it's like, that's awesome. So at one point, they also show like Jinty and Mayu and Harada. Like, Harada's dummy is sitting on the couch and Mayu is talking to Jinty. Jinty pretty much tells her that Harada's soul has been sent to the void, and the only way to get him back is to send somebody else's soul into the void. And he shows him this. He shows her this video of this guy sitting on a couch, and she pretty much told her to choose between him or Harada. And she was like, I can't do that, because Mayu, she's like, in terms of what they do, Mayu is pure. Like, she's pretty pure, and her soul would have been reincarnated because she was willing to risk her life for somebody who was about to kill her or pretty much let her die. So I think they didn't really say what happened, but I believe that she chose to send her own soul to the void so that way Harada could come back. And she got into the elevator with Harada, and Jinty was like, I don't understand you humans. Y'all all just live to die. And Mayu was like, I feel really sorry for you. I genuinely feel sorry for you. And just because, like, it's not meant to be understood, she's doing that because she loves him. And he was her whole life at one point. He is still her whole life. So she is willing to sacrifice herself for him. And Jinty just will probably never understand that. And Jinty actually he looked like he got pretty heated when Mayu told him that she felt sorry for him. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, this episode, just the feels in this episode. And then they showed a part like when they were going down the elevator, Mayu didn't understand what was going on because her skin started chipping off. So because they're all dummies, like, they're not actually people, they're souls in dummies. And they're like, her soul, like, her flesh started chipping off, and she was confused. And then they hit rock bottom, and they just hit the floor, and they ended up, they had like their hands were one hand was in the other. So it was pretty sad. So I'm so sad. I mean, next week's episode is supposed to be the last episode, but I wanted Mayu to do more because she's in the fucking opening. I mean, well, so is Chiyuki, but I wanted Mayu to do more. They only really showed her for like one episode. So, I mean, I guess that's neither here nor there. So yeah, this episode was freaking sad. Really was not prepared, and I'm so sad that this week's episode is the last one. Hurt my heart a little. But yeah, it's okay. So as always, I would love to hear how you guys felt about this episode. How do you feel about the way things turn out? How do you think things are going to turn out in this week's episode? But as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.